For many of us, the meaning of Thanksgiving usually includes feasting, 4-day weekends, family reunions, or a forerunner to Christmas festivities. In Indiana, many add the IHSAA state football finals to the list. For 2 days after the Thanksgiving feast, the best of the best in Indiana high school football play for their class championship title at Lucas Oil Stadium. This weekend, we take time to give thanks for the blessings in our lives and the great student athletes across our state.
Come on now. There it is. Still going to the 49-yard line. There's 10 yards for Charlie Spegal. And Charlie Spegal has just become the state's all-time leading rusher. He has 13 yards on the night. And Charlie Spegal, now with 8,112 yards, is the state's career rushing leader.
As a kid, Charlie was pretty much about the way he is now. He was headstrong, determined. There was nothing, if there was a small obstacle in his way, no matter what, he was getting through it.
When Charlie was little, when he first started Metro football, he actually practiced with his older brother, was 5th and 6th graders, and he started practicing with them. And he always did pretty good, he's a 2nd grader holding his own with 5th and 6th graders, so he did that real well.
Charlie was in there and he was hitting and he was running, and these kids were, older than him, obviously. Of course, being a mom, I'm like, oh, you're gonna get him hurt. Well, no, it was kind of the other way around. He was, he was kind of in there hurting some of the older kids, and I was like, well, okay, maybe he is pretty good at this stuff.
I think what's special about Charlie is he gets the most out of himself. He's obviously been given some great gifts, and sometimes you're born with those things, but he really does a tremendous job in practice of taking the coaching, the attention to detail, the improvement that goes on, not just weekly, but daily. He takes those things really seriously, and I think if you're gonna be a great player, talent is wonderful, and you've gotta have that, obviously, but doing the little things right. And again, I think he's as good as you're going to find at that, of not being satisfied with just, here I am, I'm a good player. It's what can I do, what can I learn to make myself even better.
Well, before the play, I read the defense to see what kind of formation they're in. And then once I get the ball, I'm looking north and south for the most part. And I'm either looking for a cut, or if there's no hole, then I just put my shoulders down and make one.
I think what's cool about watching Charlie run and being able to describe it is you don't know what's going to happen next. He can break into the open field and outrun the defense at any time. He can bowl over linebackers, and I think I used a term once that he looked like a bowling ball just running over people, and they just kept going down as he just kept running them over. And so having to be on your toes as an announcer, not knowing what's going to happen next because he's so fast, he's so powerful, and he gets better as the game goes on. So in the 3rd and 4th quarter, when the game's on the line, that's really when Charlie shines. And so you have to know to be descriptive, but also really try to be in the moment. And it's a lot of fun.
When I hand off the ball to Charlie, it's like, no matter what I see, he's gonna get something out of nothing. There could be a hole, there could not be a hole, and he's gonna get us yards. And no matter where we are out on the field, either 1st and 10, 1st and goal, he's gonna get us the yards that we need.
Well, I'll tell you a specific run. It was the state championship last year, and we had called a timeout, and we were in the huddle, and coach was like, just get it to the middle of the field so we can take a field goal. Just when you get hit by somebody, just go down. So we start that play, and I'm blocking, and so I turn around and look back, to see where did he go down at, and I see Charlie just throw 3 dudes off of him, and I'm like, oh my God, he's gonna go for a touchdown, and then runs over another dude, and I'm like, well, hopefully he breaks my guy because I stopped blocking, and he just runs him over too and scores, and I was just like, yep, that's the only person in the country who could have done that. So it's awesome to watch Charlie.
And Charlie will tell you too, it's not just him, it's the play calling, it's the offensive line, but a large part of it is him. He deserves credit for, being able to turn those, like I said, he goes from 6-8 yards maybe in the first half to going 50-60 yards in the second half. And sometimes against weaker opponents, he's doing that in the first half too. But I think it's a battle of attrition. New Pal always feels like we're going to be the best team in the fourth quarter, and Charlie's a big reason for that, because it's tiring to tackle him time and time again, and he's shown that you might tackle him in the first 3 quarters, but it's going to be hard to do that the entire game.
When he broke the record, it was kind of just like a surreal moment, like, wow, that's a big part of history that he just broke. And but you would have never known if you asked him. He's just like, he's a team player. You would never know if you talk to him, he's not going to bring that up. And it was just a crazy moment.
Yeah, as a mother, I could not be any more proud of him and what he's accomplished. Then once it happened, of course, I was very proud of him. And then they stopped the game, and if you know Charlie, he's not one for, making a fuss over him. So I knew he was kind of, okay, this is great, but I want to get back to the football game. I know deep down inside, he's so proud of himself, but he wouldn't be the one he would not be one to come out and say anything.
When Charlie broke the record, I was just glad to get it over with for him, because I know it had been a lot of hype for him, and he just wants to play the game of football. He just really doesn't care about a lot of the records. He just wants to help his team win football games.
Well, first, it was something that I knew I was going to get early in the season, especially after a Center Grove game. I only needed 11 yards, and once I broke it, I just felt kind of relieved that I finally got it, and that I'm on top of the list now, and that for Sammy to come out and give me the game, like a good ball, and show that kind of sportsmanship, that made me really happy. That he came out and shook my hand and took pictures with me, that made me really happy. And whenever somebody breaks my record, I'm going to do the same thing.
So when I broke the record, I knew kind of going into that week, they had it all hyped up, and I knew Otis Shannon's name was on the board, but never knew who he was or seen him. And when he made the special trip to the game when I broke it, and saw him for the first time and congratulate me on breaking his record. And I remember him telling me that when someone eventually breaks your record, because records are meant to be broken, I just would like you to be there and present the ball like I did. And so when Charlie did it, I told him the same thing, just pass the torch down. I said, records are meant to be broken. When it's your time to be there, I'd like for you to do it and just keep the tradition going. Something I realized as soon as I came here, this community is like a football town, and that's something I've loved. Like, you go to a game, and any game really, it's just, the stadium's packed. So that's something I'm really going to miss, once I leave, and something I've always cherished. But the community, the people here, and everybody that's helped me along the way, like Coach Ralph and all the other coaches and my teammates, I'm just going to miss them all.